I'm gonna try to get this video finished to go with my Nantahala National Park visit. I'm out here. I've pulled all my stuff for my van out of the camper where I had it in storage. I'm trying to get my van put back together for another trip. I had a floor put in it. I went and got the carpet today. Hopefully my floor will be finished tonight and I can get my van put back together because I'm planning on going to Florida for the next 2 or 3 weeks. But I've mostly got my video about the Nantahala. The trip I just went on up to the Carolinas and Tennessee, all the way up to Virginia, one of the main reasons I went on it, I had my van ripped apart, and then a friend that I had met last year when she did a 6-month tour of the United States, she's from Israel. She had texted me that she was going to be flying into New York and hopefully we'd get to see each other. So I threw everything back in my van and headed north. So she made a trip out to St. Louis to see another friend, and then she circled back around. So it worked out that we met each other at a campground, a national forest campground in Nantahala National Park. We were camping right near, we were on Joyce Kilmer Road, right across the road from the Joyce Kilmer Memorial Forest. So I told Katya that night while we were sitting around the campfire, I said, in the morning, I've got to go over there to the little area that has the information boards and find out who Joyce Kilmer is. So the next morning, when we got up, we had a fire the next morning, sat around about lunch, and then she headed on her way. She was going to travel on, and I think she was going to go toward Outer Banks. And I got to check with her to see if she went to Outer Banks, because I've never been there either. But getting off track. Anyway, we sat around about lunch, and then she headed out. Well, I proceeded to go over there to the information boards to find out who Joyce Kilmer is. Boy, was I surprised. Joyce Kilmer is not a she. It is a he, Alfred Joyce Kilmer. And as soon as I read one of his famous poems, I knew exactly who he was. I've heard that poem for years in teaching and all, the poem Trees. So I have recited the poem in one of my videos on here of me going through the forest looking at the trees. And I was amazed. That's what I like about all the little side trips, is that you know, come up on things like that, discover things like that. I didn't know the author's name of that poem, but now I'll forever know his name. And he right after one of the world wars, he enlisted, and I don't think he was in there very long. I want to think 17 days. It's on one of the information board, and he was hit in the head with a bullet. So he is a national hero for his duty in the war and his sacrifice, and because of the poem. Really beautiful poem, and it just struck home with me because I'm such a lover of nature and of the beauty of everything. And I was pleasantly surprised to find out. And I'll never forget that Joyce Kilmer is the author of the poem Trees. So I made it back home from that, just as a little finish up video here. I had a great time seeing all the leaves and going all the way up to Virginia to the Creeper Trail. And I got back home and ripped my van back apart and got the stuff to do the floor. I'm trying to get a wood floor put in it with hatches for my stow and go so that I'll have good access to them so I can get back on the road. I've made a 2-week reservation in Florida. They have these great preserves down there in Florida. We like to go down near Ocala National Forest. There's a little town called Inverness. There's a 40-mile paved bicycle trail. My daughter's been down there with me, and my sister meets me down there sometimes. So my sister may meet me down there to ride the trail with me. She said, I guess you're going to take your electric bike. And I said, well, I might take my e-bike, but I'm going to take my regular bike too. I said, I would not ride my e-bike and you on a regular bike. And I still like riding my regular bike, so we're going to do some biking. I checked the temps, and it's supposed to be great weather in Florida for the next couple of weeks. It's getting cold here in Georgia. I don't like Georgia cold. I can go out west and I can take the low temps really good, that dry cold, but I don't like the wet cold in Georgia. I had my 12-week eye injection. I have to get an eye injection every 10 to 12 weeks. So I had it this morning. I've still got a little dot of medicine floating around in there. I'm seeing a dot ever so often, but I don't have to have another one until December the 27th. So I'm free until then. So right now I'm going to head to Florida. After I come back and have that injection, it'll be time for me to go to Arizona. I'm headed back to Quartzsite to camp in January. But that's a little update and a little pre-video before my Nantahala National Forest video, which was a pleasant surprise. And of course, it was a great visit. That's one thing I love about traveling. I meet people, like-minded people, and then I make friendships, and so I reconnect with those people. Katya is from Israel, and she said that in Israel there's an old saying that if you meet 3 times, you go for ice cream. So now we have met twice, so the 3rd time we'll do ice cream. Maybe I'll get to fly over to Israel, and we'll get our 3rd visit over there. Okay, I think I've rambled on enough now. Catch you later. Enjoy the video. I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet flowing breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. Written by Joyce Kilmer, 1913.